So, what are your thoughts on this current event? May I know what are your thoughts about this current event?
The event's been a lot of fun. We got to hang out, meet lots of fans. The Dota tournament's been pretty great. We've been lucky with all the good matches we got, and it's just fun being around lots of gamers always.
What about you, Toby?
Well, I've been loving multiple parts of the event. The Dota 2 obviously is the primary part. I'm here and I'm enjoying Southeast Asian Dota again. And it's great to actually come here and cast such amazing games too. Like I thought maybe we'll have like one-sided stomps, but everything's been really, really interesting. It's been good drums, it's been good play. And of course, today I've been spending my spare time in cosplay.
That's very nice. So, why did each of you enter the Dota 2 shop casting scene?
I don't know. That's a tough question. Why? I love Dota. I started out as a player, and when I was in Australia, there were some tournaments which, back in the Dota 1 days, where you go in there, you had 2 observer slots, people weren't able to watch the game, so I was like, well, I'm just going to start streaming them, and I started casting them, and then I just gradually went from there, got more and more people following me, and I don't know, here I am today.
So what about you, Toby?
For me, it was a mistake. Originally I was actually here in Singapore. It was the first time I actually ever cast a game of Dota, and it was on the main stage of WCG 2007. And I was originally fallen in to do the Call of Duty stuff. And they were like, oh, can you do Dota? I'm like, I played 2 pub games. Yeah, I can do Dota. Yeah, so that ended well. But yeah, it was at that point that I found out about Dota, and I learned Dota up to that point too. And yeah, the rest I'd say is history.
I see. So, from the previous game that you have casted, may I know which games made you have some unforgettable moments?
I'd say my most unforgettable moments have come from just a month or so ago. I was at GMPGL in the Philippines, which was one of my most unforgettable tournaments, just because of the atmosphere there and how crazy the Philippines fans can get. The plays, the Dota games, you cast so many Dota games, you get countless amazing games. I don't think there's a single game which I can say stands out, but it's always the crowd and the atmosphere which stands out, which I got at GMPGL. MLG Columbus was also amazing, being in front of like an American crowd for the first time. It was a huge just boost of energy from the crowd when you're casting. So I think those are probably the 2 most memorable events at least.
So what about you, Toby?
I kind of with GodZ. Like after casting Dota for about 7 years, you realize that you don't remember all the plays. It's just not possible to recall all the greatest plays in history. But what you do is you remember the vibes of events. You remember like what was really great, and you remember the recent moments. Like for me, the best recent moments is actually TI3. I think I still had to cast some of the best games, if not the best games at TI3, with some of the greatest moments as well. So for me, that's what sits in my head more than anything else.
Okay. So let me ask you this: if you could make a team from the current individual presence in different teams present in the Dota 2 community, which individual would you pick to form a 5-man team?
I don't like questions like this. It's I don't think the whole concept of all-star teams don't normally work. So I think a lot of it would be, for me, if I was told like, hey, make it like your favorite team, I would choose maybe like a captain and say, and it more comes down to the captain. What works around a certain captain? What players fit together? So I don't know. Give me like 1 minute. Talk to Toby, then I'll get back to you.
Okay. How about you, Toby?
I would say this question is as complicated as achieving world peace. It's not possible. Is that a really negative way of looking at that? It's a really negative way of looking at that. Yeah, it's really difficult. Like if you want to take the best out, and we ignore all emotions, we ignore all personalities, then you could probably do it. But in the space of 3 months, you have to change your entire thing because people get better and people throw. Like it's just what happens. So it depends on the form, depends on the time. Yeah, I also don't really like answering those kind of things.
Okay. So. Okay, let's just stop here, shall we? Okay. So, what do you think about the future of the Dota 2 and the community? Will it grow bigger, or will it grow bigger than other mobile games?
Maybe. I don't know. Not sure if you're talking about a certain MOBA game, but when I look at Dota 2, I don't think you need to compare it to other games. You just have to look at Dota 2 on its own. Is it growing? Is the player base getting bigger? Are viewers and spectators enjoying themselves more and more? And as like a caster, I just want to like keep on improving what I do and keep on helping the scene grow as much as I can. I don't really look at whether or not it's bigger than other games.
What about you, Toby?
Dota 2 community's future is actually looking pretty good. It's the infrastructure which should be designed by Valve, which gives this community more potential than any other gaming community out there. Personally, I don't care if we're beating other people. All I care is that we're expanding ourselves.
Okay. So, I guess this will be our last question. So, do you see any potential team from the ACG that could actually make it to the internationals, the TI4?
Well, the boys Titan, all 5 of those players who were playing here were at the last international. 4 of them with Orange, 1 of them with Zenith. So they definitely have the talent and the skill to do it. It's just whether or not this team will fit together. I think the other big team that everyone, a lot of fans, at least back in the Philippines, would love to see there is Mineski, who at this point probably haven't proven that they deserve a spot there, but without a doubt you'd see them in the qualifiers for TI4 again, and I think they'll do a lot better. And if they keep on playing tournaments, doing well, like if they prove they're the best in Southeast Asia, maybe they get an invite, who knows.
What about you, Toby?
I agree. If Titan develops like they are currently developing, and they play with their full 5-man roster, which they're not doing here, then I really think they almost could get an invite directly to TI. And as far as Manesi goes on with GodZ, they haven't proved the fact they should get an invite. And they will be in the qualifiers. And I also want to throw Startail in there. As far as Korea's home, they are the best thing they've got. They don't deserve an invite, but they deserve at least a qualifier spot. So yeah, I'm looking for those 2 teams, but Titan, I give them props all the way. And we kind of like forgot a bit about Mistrust, but they've always been there. They kind of always will be. Yeah, maybe they can turn up the heat, do really well, but they're a qualified team as well.
Okay, sure. So thank you very much, guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for your time.